So what are some of the most common carnivore questions I get? This is a fun one. Hi, my name's Tom, and this is my carnivore life. I'm not one of these people that goes around just touting my carnivore lifestyle. I know there's some people that do. But people see me and they see the transformation, and they're like, wow, what'd you do? You going to the gym, you lifting weights, what are you doing? And so I just changed the way I eat. What do you mean? Well, I only eat animal products. And then they go, oh, you're one of those. Carnivore. Yep, I'm one of those. And it inevitably leads to a line of questioning. Some are humorous, but I guess some are validated because they don't know. The top question that I get is, well, what about cholesterol? Doesn't it raise your cholesterol? And, you know, this, by now people should know that cholesterol and the lipid hypothesis is garbage. There's nothing to it, never has been, never will be. So I have to spend time explaining, you know, Ansel Keys and sugar and seed oils and grains and how our diet's changed and glyphosate, everything that goes with it, into our processed food to explain, you know, that it's not the cholesterol that's causing the problem. And it seems like I just need to have a tape recording. When somebody asks a question, just hit play. Click, okay, listen to this. Because it starts getting old after a while. It's like, parrot, just constantly repeating the same thing over and over again. So the next question I get once I satisfy that curiosity is, well, what about fiber? Don't you get constipated? No, I don't need fiber. Nobody needs fiber. If you're eating the proper amount of fats, you're gonna go to the bathroom just fine. And you know, the biggest thing that I see, and anybody on carnivore has experienced it, and to some extent I think keto does a little bit, but it's more pronounced on carnivore, is you just don't go every day. You know, I might go 5 days before I have to have a bowel movement. And that's normal, because a bowel movement is simply your body disposing of the waste, the byproducts of what you've eaten that your body can't utilize. So if I'm eating good protein and fats, my body's using that. And there's going to be very little of it left over when my body's done processing it. So it makes sense that I'm not going to go every single day. And some people just can't wrap their head around that. And the next question I get is, well, doesn't it get boring? You just eat meat all the time. No, not really. If you think about it, people my age, we were pretty much raised meat and potatoes. So you had some sort of meat every night with potatoes and maybe a vegetable, sometimes both. But I really don't get tired of eating the meat. And there's enough variety of meat out there that it just doesn't get boring to me. And if you watched my lunch video, you know that I eat the same thing for lunch a week at a time. So it doesn't really bother me. And my whole outlook on diet, nutrition, and food has switched from, you know, this notion of living to eat all these wonderful foods, especially when you watch Food Network or any of these other shows with Bobby Flay and God knows who else, and all these fancy dishes they're making. I eat to live now. Meat and fat, protein is my fuel. I don't need carbs to get that fuel. I get it from what I eat, animal products. So then my question then turns to, well, how much weight have you lost? And in my case, it's almost 50 pounds. And they find it hard to believe that I'm not exercising, I don't go to the gym, and yet I'm losing all this weight. Well, isn't that going to cause gallstones or something like that? No. You get gallstones when you eat the standard American diet. You don't get it from eating carnivore. But there's always these weird questions that come out because people just don't quite understand how this works, because let's face it, anybody that's 20 years younger than me, they've never known anything different, because in the 80s, that's when all this, cholesterol's bad, eggs are bad for you, don't eat red meat, it causes colon cancer, and it goes on and on. So they don't know any better. I know better because of how I was raised and how I ate growing up, and I deviated from that, and that's my fault. And it was more to do with living to eat than it was eating to live. So I don't really fault them for not knowing any better, but it's getting to the point where there's enough information out there, there's enough science out there, there's enough of the studies that have been buried for decades that are now coming to light, that just completely shreds this whole notion of a high carbohydrate diet. It's just not good for us. We're not intended to eat that way. So the next question I get is, well, doesn't your blood pressure go up? Or, how many medications are you on? And, I'm almost 62 and I'm on no medications whatsoever. And you ask people my age who eat the standard American diet how many medications they're on. 4, 5, 7. I mean, it's ridiculous. So why would you want to take medications? If you could eat properly and not have to take those medications and spend that money, wouldn't you be better served to spend it on food than you would on medicines? And then, you take this medicine, but then you got to take this one to counteract whatever side effects of that one are. And then that one gives you a side effect. So now you got to have another drug for that. Oh, but that raises blood pressure. So we got to take blood pressure medicine. But that one makes you gain weight. So now we got to take this pill to counteract the weight gain, and a lot of it's water weight. And I mean, it just goes on and on. It's self-feeding. And, I wouldn't want to live that way. I don't know why people do. It just makes no sense to me. And I don't know. I don't understand it. And then the next question is, aren't you afraid of having a heart attack? Well, I imagine someday I will, because everybody dies of a heart attack because your heart stops. Pure and simple. Now, there are contributing factors that led to the heart attack. I don't worry about those because I'm eating a proper diet. I'm eating what I'm supposed to be eating, not what some scientist in a lab somewhere or some talking head or celebrity or whoever is claiming I should be eating. I'm eating what I was intended to eat by nature. My digestive tract is suited for meat, fats. That's just that simple. I sleep better at night. My memory's better. I have more energy. I mean, what more could you ask for? And I really used to look down on obese people, even though I was obese. I still look down on them. And I think that's kind of shifted to more of a sense of pity, because a lot of these people don't realize that they have the ability to change that. And it's a simple change. It's not hard. It's not expensive. You just got to want to do it. And so, I see these people that are morbidly obese, and each time I just want to walk up to them and say, there's a way out of this that isn't painful. And you don't have to live like this. You can be thin and have a healthy life, and not be burdened by the excess weight and all the diseases that come with it. So that part has kind of changed a little bit. But I digress. You can lead a horse to water. So what are some of the questions you have about carnivore? Just give me a comment down below. Let me know what your questions are. I'll answer them. Doesn't bother me. It may not be the answer you want, but it'll be the answer I think best suits your question. And if I can't answer your question, I'll find somebody who can. I love interacting with my subscribers, so leave me a comment, leave me a like, subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this. And as always, have a great day.